I'm really tired.
Mate, I'm knackered.
What a big day.
Yeah.
If you could go out with one Villa player for New Year's Eve night, who would it be?
I don't know, who'd you?
Alan Hutton.
Alan Hutton?
Yeah, I think he'd be lively.
I mean, most of our local rivals, when they get anything against us, they seem to celebrate it like a win, which is not how I like to operate. It's quite a small time. But
sure, but
each to their own. Just a little prank there.
No.
Prank Sinatra.
Didn't see that.
No? Okay.
And somebody came up to Dan. I was like, oh, I love what you do with the Villa View. It's so good. Love the podcast. Love the podcast. I am literally half of the podcast. And Dan's like, oh yeah, there's Tom as well. He's like, who?
Hello, welcome to the Villa View podcast with myself, Dan Bardell, and Thomas Julian next to me. We're fresh from watching Aston Villa beat Millwall 1-0 at Villa Park. We have to do a few bits of travel actually afterwards, haven't we, to get to London, get back to London to do the podcast, and we've been around fan cams as well. It's been like a slog after the game, but the game was very enjoyable.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say fresh is the right word, but hey, 10 in a row. History was made this afternoon at Villa Park.
Of course, lucky Tom Julian was there when history was made. Wasn't there for any of the dirgy days.
I mean, I was
when Jack was injured, and then he just rocks up to make history.
I've seen enough dirge to last me a lifetime. Not as much as you, admittedly.
Yeah.
But I mean, not the greatest game in the world, but the result is all that matters. Villa in the playoffs and 10 in a row is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, in days that I did not think we would be seeing a couple of months ago when we both sat here and said the season's done.
Yeah.
It's all about next season now. To what the lads have actually done is incredible, to be fair to them, and the coaching staff and Dean Smith, obviously, as well.
Absolutely. I was speaking to a couple of the guys at fan cams, and we were just talking about how I can't believe this is the same season.
Yeah.
It's just
It does feel like 3
unbelievable.
seasons, doesn't it, this one? There's like 3 separate bits.
And Dave, Yorkshire Dave, was saying, I think after the 9 wins in a row, that's a fifth of the season. You know, to win a fifth of the season in one fell swoop, and now it must be close to a quarter or something like that. But it just feels unbelievable that Villa have cemented their playoff place with a couple of games to go. They're playing great football. 2 clean sheets since we were last in the podcast. Although Jed Steer tried his best not to keep a clean sheet when he kind of ran out of his
Rash
box.
moment.
Yeah. So we'll come on to the Bolton game as well. But it's just been a wonderful weekend. The sun shone. It's been a bank holiday weekend. Barbecues.
I'm not going to be honest, I've had a terrible bank holiday weekend up until today.
Go on.
Yeah.
Well,
my rabbit wasn't very well, was he? And I've spent
don't know.
I've not told you.
No.
Well, I've spent the whole bank holiday weekend with plans getting cancelled because I've been in the vets and the emergency vets and the animal hospital and stuff. He's okay now, thankfully, but my bank balance is not okay at all. No holidays this year. If anyone wants to chip into the Dan Bardell and Angela Bardell Holiday Fund, that would be most welcome.
Does this mean we're not going on the Villa US tour just yet?
Yeah, I mean, unless you've got some hidden money that I don't know about, because the Villa Viewers have got no budget to do anything. I don't think the Villa Viewers got the budget to go to the FBAs at the moment, which is sad, but it is what it is. Worth mentioning that if I pass out in this podcast, it's due to the garments that I am wearing this evening. So we decided that we'd wear present-day Villa shirts tonight to just, I don't want to say pay respect, but that's not the right word, but pay homage.
In homage,
In homage, is that right?
Yeah.
To the current first team for their unbelievable winning streak. But the one that I've chosen is player-worn Conor Hourihane jersey, and he wears an extra small. And it's, as you can imagine, it's not too spacious in there.
You're not breathing as well as you should be. It's a bit like when I wore the kids' 95 shirts, isn't it? Let's get into it then. Can
I just have some respect for fitting into an athlete shirt?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see if you make the podcast before it just rips midway.
That's true.
So let's talk a little bit about the Bolton game first of all. Bolton 0, Villa.
Forget that, Tom. I don't want to talk about that.
No, we've got to talk about it. We've got to pay respects to Bolton, because there's a lot to get into there. Not least, Bolton now relegated from the Championship. They set a new record for club defeats. But Villa march on. Another clean sheet, which is massive. 25 goals from Tammy Abraham, first player to do that since Andy Gray in 1976.
Hurting himself doing it.
Yeah, hurting himself doing it. He actually came out today. I was in the Trinity Road and he came out of one of the boxes up the top there.
Did he?
Arm in a sling. A couple of fans spoke to him after the game and
saw him driving, a picture of him driving his car earlier on today.
Yeah.
Got a sling on.
Yeah.
Should you be driving a car with a sling on?
I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows the extent of the injury. Apparently he said it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks, which basically means that I think he's okay, but Villa are going to take care of him until the playoffs.
I mean, the fact that we have qualified for the playoffs with 2 games to spare is remarkable,
yeah,
by the way. absolutely remarkable. But now we can afford to say, well, there's no point rushing him back first. Tom just missed the desk with his elbow.
I do that at work all the time.
But yeah, we can say now that we don't need him for those 2 games. It's not imperative that he plays the last 2 games. We can afford to keep him fresh now, nurse him back and get him back for the playoffs.
Yeah, so Villa dominated the Bolton game. El Ghazi had a couple of chances. McGinn had a chance cleared off the line early doors.
Yeah.
First half, kind of a quietish affair, but straight after the second half, Grealish making all the difference again, and Tammy Abraham providing a goal, which is not the way it usually is.
Yeah, it was a usual combination, but in an unusual way. Obviously, you don't expect to see Tammy Abraham pinging in crosses for Jack Grealish to head home.
No.
A couple of headers for Jack now this season. Adding that to his game, the big man.
Yeah,
big man in the back stick.
Absolutely, but not just the headers, adding goals to his game. That's something that Villa fans, if you were going to put a knock on Grealish, it was he didn't score enough. And what's it, 6 goals he's got now?
Yeah.
And
all of them since Smith's been in charge.
Right, and he's got this free reign. He's playing with a fresh attitude. He's added goals to his game, and now every pundit in football is saying Jack Grealish is the one to watch.
He's the real deal.
Very nice.
As we've said before.
I don't think we've ever said that before.
He's the complete package now.
Yeah.
All he had to do was add productivity to his game.
Yeah.
And he's done that. He's so easy on it. And even today, I'm going to keep cutting back to today.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's fresh in my mind.
Fine.
But wasn't that his best today? I didn't think at all. He wasn't as involved in the game. Same with McGinn, actually. Neither of them were involved in the game as much as they usually are. But yet, still so effective. Still capable of just making some magic. And he could have scored a couple of times. I thought he had a shot that was saved, didn't he? He ended up going kind of straight at the goalkeeper today. But still very effective. I thought he looks a little bit injured today.
Did you?
I don't know whether I'm reading too much into things. I'm being paranoid, but I just felt he was he looked like he was carrying something to me, not 100% comfortable. I could be completely wrong here. You've watched the same game as me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I got to watch the game with my dad today, which is obviously the usual dynamic that you have. And my dad doesn't watch a huge amount of Villa and has never really bought into Jack Grealish.
Yeah, he said that to me before the game, actually.
Yeah, but he's obviously seen what he's done since Grealish has come back and been made captain, and he watched him today and he was like, Jack Grealish is a difference maker, but I think there's still more. And he's watched him on TV and seen more from him.
I think Dad's getting into Villa now, isn't he?
I think he is.
I sense him getting into it today.
He really liked coming. He loved Villa Park. He's been to Villa Park a couple of times without me.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
Which is what you'd do.
Yeah.
Sensible choice.
Yeah, thanks. And I think if he's going to start adopting a team, then it might be Villa, which is nice. But back to Grealish, there was a couple of times where he ran. Well, he did run the midfield.
We're talking about Bolton now or Millwall, because I feel like we've got away.
You've thrown me, haven't you?
Yeah.
Even the Millwall game specifically, he was playing the nice passes. He also had a couple of chances where he danced through a couple of defenders, brought down as he always is, and holds the ball up in the corner as well. So I felt like he was maybe playing within himself a little bit, but that was because of the opposition. Millwall didn't really have that much to offer in attack, and therefore Grealish kind of had a comfortable game. I didn't see it as much of an injury as much as saving himself a little.
Yeah, like he didn't need to be at his absolute best today because of the way the game was.
Yeah,
that's probably fair. I don't know. I'll try and find out. But I mean, I have already asked the question. Yeah. But I'll try and find out.
You always do.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back to Bolton if we can for a second.
Bolton. No one wants to talk about.
I just want to talk.
You do a podcast the day of the game. Why are we talking about something that was last week?
Because we haven't talked about it. This is what we do.
No one cares about that now.
Let's talk about Tammy Abraham getting to 25 goals and what a milestone that is. What a terrific achievement that is.
Fantastic. But I want to talk about Villa beating Millwall.
You are supposed to be a podcast host. We work off each other. Come on.
Okay, like Tammy and Jack did for both goals. Goal and assist each, wasn't it?
Except you're letting me down here.
I'm not. I'm just making... I know what the viewers want. I know what the listeners want.
What does it mean to Tammy Abraham, and how much does that affect him in terms of potential to stay next year? To get 25 goals, do you think he's got more of an affinity for the club, and if we go up, would he want to come back, do you think?
I think he wants to play in the Premier League. I think we probably got wind of that in January when there was a lot of stuff swirling around in the press. I think he believes he's a Premier League player, and I think, to be fair, although it didn't go great for him at Swansea, I think he is better than the Championship, so I think by virtue of that he is a Premier League player. So I think if we go up, we've got a great chance of signing him, and I think there's a great chance of him wanting to be at Villa. He's not going to want to go to Chelsea and be third, fourth striker. That's no good for him now. He's had a season playing football again, like he did at Bristol City the year before last. That's what he wants to do. And he's got that consistency of being at Villa. He could do with consistently being at a club, if that makes sense. It's no good just flitting around, changing clubs all your career. It's the same with Twanzebe, really. These kind of players that they're very, very good players. I actually think Twanzebe is good enough for Man U. Is Tammy good enough for Chelsea at the moment? Probably not. But is he good enough to play Premier League? Yes, but at that point in his career now he needs to say, I need to be at one club for a few years and settle down, get down some roots.
Do you think if Villa go up, he is going to be as talismanic in the Premier League as he is in the Championship?
No. I think if you were in the Premier League, I don't envisage Tammy Abraham playing every game up front. 38 games, you need to have different options. We'd sign another striker as well. We've got other strikers at the club. So I don't think he'd be the main man. I think there'd be another striker there as well with him. So I don't think he'd get 25 goals in the Premier League for a start.
So do you think Dean Smith would change the way he plays without one on top, or you think he'd play two up top, or just rotating strikers?
I think you'd get in a striker that can potentially play wide as well. So, for example, in the Premier League, I probably do think this, but this isn't me saying this now. Let's say Codger's not good enough to play in the Premier League. You get in a replacement for him who's better than him, who can play wide and play up front. So, in a tough away game, for example, that striker might play up front on his own. In a home game, Tammy might play up front and that striker plays on the wing. So that's the way I would envisage it going. But this is like looking into the future of stuff, something that might not even happen.
Exactly. My dad said that to me earlier.
It's hard though now.
Yeah.
It's very hard not to get carried away because not many teams win 10 games in a row. Like it's obscene.
Well, we talked about this a few weeks ago, didn't we? Where I said that we were the Fulham, and you kind of put the brakes on it a little bit. But 10 wins in a row. We take on Leeds, who lost tonight as well. The wheels are really falling off at Elland Road. You beat Leeds, and then Norwich is a kind of weird one because Norwich are already up now. Villa are in the playoffs. I mean, they still might be chasing fourth rather than fifth.
We want fourth.
Yeah.
I want fourth. I want to finish ahead of West Brom.
Yeah. For pride or for second game?
I want to be at home second, but I want to finish ahead of them. I always want to finish ahead of all the other Midlands teams. I always want Villa to be the best in the Midlands that they can be, and obviously we can't be ahead of Wolves this season, but I want us to be ahead of West Brom and ahead of Birmingham.
Yeah.
Also think that obviously we're going to be playing West Brom, I think, bar some kind of mathematical miracle.
Yeah.
It'll be Villa West Brom. I just fancy us against them if we get them. I really fancy us. I also think that Jay Rodriguez cheating for that handball, and that cost us 2 points, and that gained them a point that they shouldn't have got. And if they do end up finishing ahead of us, I feel like karma's going to come back round and bite them. Yeah. I really feel like that's going to happen. And
Gareth Barry's out as well, isn't he, for the season? Yeah. Which is good because Gareth Barry's a good player. I'm not necessarily afraid of Gareth Barry, but it's quite nice to know that he's out. Yeah.
No.
Always afraid of Barry.
At this stage of his career, he's not someone who's going to be a direct threat, although he did kind of run the game at Villa Park, actually. But it's a different time when we weren't playing well. We didn't have Grealish. We were a bit all over the place. People were still finding themselves like Mings.
Yeah.
I obviously fancy us against anyone at the moment because we're beating everyone that we play.
Yeah.
And different kinds of wins as well, which is good. That Bolton one was a different kind of win on Friday, and today was a different kind of win. We're just doing bits.
Yeah.
We are doing bits.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice.
Well, let's talk about today then, because
forget Bolton.
I'm not going to fight against the tide anymore. It was a lovely day, first of all. Very, very early day, but apart from that, what did you think of the 1 o'clock kickoff early?
What's the reasoning behind it?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
No, okay. No, I don't know.
But did it feel weird to you? Kind of kick it off early?
It wasn't ideal because obviously I was supposed to be in Birmingham all weekend, but my plans got ruined, so I had to drive up on my own this morning. So I was up at 7 to make sure I got there, and I had some stuff to do in Birmingham this morning. Didn't really feel that weird at all. I just felt like when I was there, it felt like it was a 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah.
But then when I finished fan cams, it was 2 hours earlier than it normally is. That's basically the only difference. It's a good job as well because it took me ages to get home.
Yeah.
And it's quite late starting the podcast, later than we normally would.
So Abraham comes out obviously through injury, and Codger comes in rather than Davis. Was that a shock for you?
It's 50-50 really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's preference. It wouldn't have been my pick. I'd have probably picked Keenan.
I thought it was going to be Davis.
But my only thought is that over the last few games, Keenan's been good coming off the bench. And Codger was good coming off the bench before he got injured. So Codger had maybe earned the start more than Keenan had. And if Keenan's been effective coming off the bench, have him coming off the bench. Again, he's good for seeing games out, isn't he, Keenan?
Yeah.
I really, really like Keenan Davis. I liked him last season, but the fleeting amount we've seen him this season, there's just something about him that I really like.
I feel like, and you're right, we haven't seen too much of him. But in the snippets that we have, I feel like he's come on. He's added a bit of maybe even just confidence to this game. Yeah, finesse is right. Obviously, still not getting in the. Oh, he could have scored today, but he's not quite finding the net.
No,
but that's something they can add to. Do you think if we go up, if we go up, that's bad for Keenan Davis because he's going to get less chances potentially in the Prem?
Possibly one that you'd look at to maybe go on loan. Because I imagine we'd be... Again, it's all hearsay, isn't it? But if we were to go, I imagine... You don't want to do too much because look at Fulham.
Yeah.
They dismantled their side.
Yeah.
And it's not worked out well for them. They need to find some kind of balance of keeping what you've got, but yet improving in certain areas as well. Keenan may be one that would in the Premier League would go out on loan because he'd need a whole season playing football. I don't think he'd get that in the Premier League.
2 or 3 years ago, he was at a non-league side, wasn't he? So
but he's a good footballer, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's a clever player.
Yeah.
I really like him.
No, it's good. It was good to see him on the ball, but it was Kodja that got the start, and obviously Kodja that got the goal as well in 13 minutes. Anwar El Ghazi played really, really well, I thought, today. Very, very tricky, very creative, and like you said for a while, linking up with Neil Taylor really well. He was the creator for the goal, and Kodja, one of the knocks against Kodja, which I think is fair, is that he doesn't anticipate things particularly well. There's a couple of times where he didn't today, but he did for the goal and he got there just ahead, and it was a good striker's poach.
Yeah, I think that is Kodja. He's infuriating because you know he's got ability and he comes in and does something clever and scores the goal.
Yeah.
2 minutes before that, he intercepted a loose pass and could have been through on goal, and he took a touch. It was like a shot.
Yeah.
It went for miles.
Yeah.
And you're just so infuriated by him, and then 2 minutes later he's sticking the ball in the back of the net. I think that is just Kodja. As a lone forward, he's not really for me, if I'm being honest. If he's in my team, I have him on the wing.
Yeah.
Because I watch him, and I watched him quite closely today. He's very rarely trying to make a run in behind. He's not dropping deep to come and get the ball and letting people get beyond him.
Yeah.
So what is it? He should be doing one of those two things.
Sure.
In my opinion, he kind of takes up positions that aren't threatening for me as a lone striker, or if he drifts out of the game and where he's not the focal point when you need to be, like Tammy does, when you're the leading striker on your own. I just don't think he does the things that a lone striker should do.
I think that's an odd one, isn't it? Because he gives the impression that he wants to be the main man and the lone striker.
He wants to be a forward for sure. You can tell.
But drifting is exactly the word that I would use. He kind of it's a very laissez-faire attitude where he just kind of, I'm going to go there, I might do this.
And
there's no urgency. And then when you're on your own, you need to be bringing other people in, which Tammy does excellently. And you need to be playing on that last man to be ready. There was a point where it kind of, I can't remember who put the cross in, but it bobbled around and it comes to Kodja. And there's that split second where if Tammy Abraham's in that position, it's probably a goal. And Kodja's just that little bit too slow, and the goalkeeper swallows it up, and it's just
you just wanted to have a pop shot, don't you?
A pop shot would have been perfect at that stage of the game.
Whatever one of those is, you just wanted to have a pop shot.
Jedinak played at centre back again. What did you make of him?
A couple of passes went astray, but name me a player on the pitch whose passes didn't make a couple of bad passes. Like it happens.
A couple of passes which are done with aplomb as well, to be fair.
To be fair, last home game, Bristol as well, he was doing the same thing.
Yep.
I thought the people that did well at Bristol in the last home game did well again. Like you said about Neil Taylor and El Ghazi, I think they're really developing a great relationship now. I thought that was fine.
Yeah.
It's probably his type of game, let's be honest, Millwall at home. They're more direct than, say, a lot of championship sides. I mean, also that kind of plays into his ability more so than if someone's trying to play the ball around quickly and he's in a foot race. He doesn't want to be in those positions. I know straight from kick-off they tried to play in the channel and tried to get Jedinak moving, and they didn't manage to achieve that again. So I thought the game suited him, if I'm being honest. But people in fan cams didn't seem that enamoured with him, but I thought he was fine. Yeah,
I mean, he's a downgrade, isn't he, to a usual centre-back.
He's not pleasing on the eye. I mean, you look at how Mings plays the game, and Mings is just an absolute joy to watch, and you've fallen in love with Tyrone Mings for that, because you saw him with that shirt.
Oh, my goodness. So I mean, first of all, Tyrone Mings had an excellent game.
Man of the match, yeah.
It felt like every time Millwall tried to get it forward, Mings was there.
Just a beast.
He was everywhere. He reads it so well. He's comfortable on the ball. He was back to the Tyrone Mings of January, February, where he's controlling the game, rather than the last few weeks where he's had a bit of a weird time.
He's a bit erratic in one game, wasn't he? The Rotherham away game, but I just love watching him because.
Oh, the game before that as well.
Yeah,
wasn't he?
The Bolton game.
When did he get sent off?
That was the Rotherham game.
And the game before that, he gave away a goal.
There's been so many games over the last few
many
weeks.
Wins.
Yeah, so
but anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, Tyrone Mings does the absolute business. Full-time whistle. I'm sitting just above the tunnel. He comes over, gives it one of these, and he's like Anthony Joshua under there.
That's a big statement, says like AJ.
Hey,
I know what you mean.
He's not as muscular, but he's as defined.
After Snog Marry Avoid last week, this podcast has really taken a turn yet again.
I don't think Mings got either, did he?
No, but I'm sure you'll have a change of heart. Now, if you play that today, you'd be all over.
I can't remember who. I think I gave it to Bjarnason, but I mean, my type is changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's fluid. It's a fluid thing. He just does everything well, though. Like, he defends well. He's passing. He's so accurate. Every pass is perfectly weighted, and he starts off so many attacks. He's fast. He's athletic. He's hard. He's hard as well. Like, you don't want to mess with him because he can sometimes be quite graceful.
Yeah.
But other times he's an absolute mean machine.
Yeah.
He's just such a good player. I just hope we get to keep him. I still don't see it being likely. Bournemouth would be crazy to sell him now.
Yeah.
The way he's developing. Because this is all he's needed his game somewhere, and he's getting them at Villa.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be at Villa now. I think he's decided this is where I want to reignite my career. This is where I want to be. But it doesn't always come down to the player. He's contracted to Bournemouth. If they want to utilise him next season, they'll be in the Premier League for sure.
It must be amazing to hear the whole crowd sing your name and to be so adored as a lone player that hasn't played a lot of football at Villa, and immediately he was at one with the fans, which doesn't happen that often, and it's just been brilliant to see, and yeah, we'll see what happens in the summer, but he is a Premier League defender, no doubt.
I mean, the only thing I can compare it to is when two people sang my name outside fan cams once.
I mean, a great moment.
That was nice. I mean, I felt good. And that was two people. And they were probably taking the mick.
And one of them was Rollo.
Yeah. The other one was my dad. Just imagine what it must feel like to hear 40,000 people. And the atmosphere today as well. Atmosphere's so good. So I said when things were bad, like when Villa Park when things are going well, there is no better place to play.
Yeah.
And that's true. So good, Dave. And like straight from kick-off, the atmosphere's great. If someone misplaces a pass, I didn't hear any groans. It's brilliant. I just wish it could be like that all the time. But obviously, when you're winning 10 in a row, you're not going to be criticising.
Well, but so there's a few people on Twitter saying, calling out people for criticising things. I haven't seen any criticism at all of anybody. And there's nothing to criticise, is there? I think there's one question, I can't remember who it is, asking whether Jed Steer's not good enough. And that's the only thing.
2 clean sheets.
Yeah, totally. I mean, there was... I still think the jury is out whether he's good enough to be a Premier League goalkeeper, but that's a different question. Yeah. But
I feel like we're getting ahead of ourselves with the Premier League today so far.
Totally, and I think I kind of give it to us for 10 wins in a row. There's reason for optimism, isn't there?
For sure, with the form team going into the playoffs now, which is what you want to be.
There was a point after the Codger goal where Millwall kind of got on top of us a little bit. They didn't have any real clear-cut chance. I think they only had one shot on target all game. Jed Steer made a good save actually for that.
Yeah, it was a good save. I think I might have took a couple of nicks as well.
Right,
it was a good save
because it was up your end.
The whole
right?
end, yeah.
And so Millwall get on top a little bit, and it's a little bit nervy. Did you ever feel like Villa were out of control?
I didn't feel like we were out of control, but when you're 1-0, there's always a chance that Millwall can score. And there was maybe a 10-minute period towards the end of the second half where I started to think, they might score off a set piece or something.
Set pieces was the one.
Set pieces has maybe been the one thing that I think we can maybe improve. I always think we look a little bit susceptible from set plays. I mean, saying that, I can't remember when we last conceded from one, but I do always feel like we look a little bit susceptible.
We definitely did under Bruce. We've got a lot more solid.
Even like recently, I feel like if a team's going to score against us, it's going to be on a set piece.
Right. I think that says more about the way we're playing non-set piece wise.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Yeah, maybe I'm noticing it more because we're looking so assured everywhere else. Whereas before, with the West Brom game, for example, set pieces, hopeful long balls forward, short passing, everything looked like it would cause us problems. That's probably a reasonable shout from you.
I want to give you a little story about half time.
Go on then.
My dad was absolutely desperate for a Balti pie. He was like, I've got to have one. I was like, fine, yep, go get one. By the time we got to the front of the queue, no chicken Balti pies left. He wasn't particularly happy.
I bet he wasn't. I have Julian. He's livid. I can imagine he's got a temper as well.
No, he's all right. But
if he was a son, I'd have a temper.
So the guy behind the bar was like, I've got some veg veg balti pies, and my dad was like, "Get out of town. I don't
Your
need
dad's
that."
not a veg man, is he?
Then-
Full Brexit.
The woman behind the next to this guy goes, "Go on, have this one." And it was on the. He just gave it to him. I was like, there weren't many pies left.
Afraid?
Yeah.
Well, just gave him a veg pie or gave him
Gave him a veg balti pie.
He ate it. Did you like it?
He loved it. Had a great
Ah.
time. Yeah.
So, Kev, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, should you?
Yeah. Shouldn't judge a chickpea by its pastry.
Oh dear.
Okay. So anyway,
I've noticed that you do that. If you do a joke that doesn't land, you'll just chuck in a laugh.
I just laugh myself.
Just so someone's
that's
laugh.
because you never laugh.
But you never say anything funny.
I give you a lot of feedback. You just kind of deadpan me.
Because I make good jokes. I do.
I don't know.
I'm the brains and the beauty of the operation.
Are you?
And the humour.
What am I?
The notes.
The notes.
I can't believe you've done notes.
I'm really struggling with notes here.
You did notes on the train, didn't you? You were desperate for me to send out a quick tweet about doing the podcast so you could get some notage down.
Yeah. Well, I like to.
I called you an anorak on the tweet.
You did.
It's a good term. It's a good.
I think it's probably pretty apt, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like to get the. I mean, this is the Villa View. Yeah. Okay. 1-1.
That was a bang though. It wasn't me singing at the table. I banged my elbow for those listening via audio.
For the Villa View is the fans' channel, right? So we have to ask questions. We have to get the fans involved. That's why I wanted it out. So we're going to build them in.
Hey, I've got something for you.
Cool.
I know you'll be interested in.
Cool.
Ref was all right today.
Interesting. I was going to come on to the
I didn't mind the
referee.
referee today.
I thought he didn't really have any decisions to make.
I liked that when the Millwall goalkeeper was time wasting after 5 minutes, he was like, "I'm not having that."
That was bold, wasn't
I'd
it?
never seen that happen before. 5 minutes in, he was like on the case.
Yeah.
And then he had a word with the captain about time wasting when they were taking a corner. As well, he wasn't having time wasting today, was he, the ref?
No. I thought he got everything right. There wasn't anything particularly difficult to do, but he just managed the game really well.
I didn't hear a chant of "we always get refs" today, which tells me that's probably the first time I haven't heard that chant.
Strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you'd be revelling in the fact that the referee did a good job, but you.
Oh, I know. I'm pleased.
Maybe you're so professional about stuff like this. Maybe you're just thinking, well, that's what he should be doing.
Yeah, but that is right. If you don't notice the ref, then that's
He's
good.
done his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good today. The ref. Don't know his name. Can't give him any credit. I don't know who he was.
We'll find out. It'll be
Okay.
fine. So Glenn Whelan, one of the players of the first half for me, comes off quite early in the second half. I wondered if that was a knock. You think just
He's
tiredness?
played a lot of games in the last few weeks.
That seems an interesting reason to start him, then not start Conor Hourihane, if you think that Whelan's already tired.
I guess if the game's not going as you would like it to go, it's better to be able to bring Connor on than it is Whelan.
Okay.
You'd bring Whelan on to protect something, wouldn't you? Whereas if you wanted a goal, you'd probably bring Connor on. I thought Connor did well when he came on.
I did.
You've got a lot of interesting options in midfield. At the moment, it's harsh on any. There's four in my mind. There's four of them going for those three places at the moment.
Yeah.
Any of them missing out is harsh. Like Connor won't be happy that he hasn't played Friday or Monday, coming off the back of scoring the winner in the game before and playing well. Like that is harsh.
Yeah.
That's harsh on anyone, no matter what we think about Hourihane. That's hard to take.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that.
Especially as a professional footballer,
Yeah,
when you think and deserve, probably in this case, to be playing.
But the problem is
Exactly.
they all deserve to be
Yeah,
playing,
yeah.
and you can't play. But you can't play four of them.
No.
Because you don't want to move any of them out wide or
No.
anything silly like
It doesn't make any
Because
sense.
that's what Steve Bruce would do.
Yeah.
Would have done in this situation. Like Grealish would be on the left or something stupid.
Somebody tweeted his first team sheet of this
I saw
season,
it.
and it was
the one that
just
went home to Wigan.
it's absolutely bizarre, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
there's nothing about it makes sense. I don't think.
No, it's like Yednap played centre back, but even like Yednap playing at centre back is different to Yednap. Yednap playing at centre back for Dean Smith is different to Yednap playing at centre back for Bruce. It's really
Sure.
weird, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think it.
El Mohammadi at right back under Dean Smith is a different El Mohammadi to the was playing right back for Bruce.
But El Mohammadi in that first game was right wing, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. He scored, didn't he? Like on the actual first game of the season.
Yeah,
Well,
against
the team
Hull.
sheet I saw was Wigan at home, so it was the first
it?
home game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the constant debate, isn't it, with midfield? And it's nice that we have those options. Those are the good headaches to have, rather than being desperate for a player to fill in.
I'd imagine McGinn will sit out against Leeds.
Do you think?
It's a suspension thing. I can't remember. Is he 1 or 2 bookings? I was having a disagreement with my dad.
I thought he was still on 13, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't have it to hand.
Okay.
We'll have a look.
And maybe you can risk it. If it's 13 and 15 to the cut-off, then I think he can afford to just not go in for certain challenges, can't he?
Yeah, well, there's been a fair few questions about resting players now that we're in. Matt Collins, Kingsley, AVFC, Ashley Evans. This is Matt Collins' tweet, I think. I think we've now a great opportunity to rest Grealish, McGinn, El Ghazi, Mings over the next couple, i.e. miss a game each. Or should we go all out to keep the run going? Lou, I've seen some comments about resting players or easing off, but we shouldn't, in my opinion. Momentum is everything going into the playoffs, and we could overhaul the baggies. Away leg second would be preferable. Agree or not?
While there's still something to play for, you definitely wouldn't be making wholesale changes. I think McGinn will sit out on Sunday against Leeds. I think Horahan will come back in. Then if you can't get fourth in the last game, I wouldn't play Jack. You don't risk it. There's just no point, is there?
Yeah.
If it's a dead rubber game, you want to keep the momentum going. You want to try and win. But Jack's played a lot of games since he's come back from injury. He's irreplaceable. I know we won without him the other week, but you want him for the playoff fixtures. You can't live without him for the playoff fixtures. So I think you probably rest McGinn Sunday, rest Grealish for the final game of the season. We've got to try and get centre-back sorted because we need to get people back fit. I don't know how far away Courtney Hawes is.
Yeah.
Twanzebe. You kind of want to play them, don't you, so that they get back to match fitness. So you've got options. I presume we're probably not going to see Chester again this season at this point.
Yeah.
It's got to too late now, hasn't it, to reintroduce him. It's good to see Elphick back on the bench.
Yeah,
maybe
nice.
play him for one of the games.
Yep.
Get him back again because he's returned ahead of schedule.
He was singing the Villa fan songs as he was warming up.
Was he?
Yeah, it was nice to see. He looked in good spirits, and the fans were singing kind of with him, and it was good relationship.
I was at Bodymore a few weeks ago for a Luke Roper thing, and I've got to say, Tommy Elphick was one of the nicest blokes I've ever met.
Yeah.
Really, really good to chat to. Really nice guy.
So
he's back.
Yeah, Conor Hourihane comes on. Andre Green comes on as well. Albert Adoma had a very quiet game today.
Adoma followed on for me from the last home game where I just didn't notice him that much. I mean, it's not for a want of trying. He's working his socks off. Mm-hmm. But I don't really feel like he's affecting the games as much as he should be at the moment. Whereas when Green came on, I thought he was instantly involved and he instantly looked lively and carried a threat.
Yeah.
Very unlucky not to score with that left foot volley.
Yeah.
Kind of a snapshot volley, wasn't it?
It was. It came to it quickly, didn't it?
Keeper kind of just went, and then tip over the bar.
What's the goalkeeper's name? Dave Martin?
David Martin.
Dave Martin.
He may have used to play for Liverpool. I may have made that up completely.
He was trending on Twitter at the end of the game. Like he had a very good game again.
He didn't quite put in Max O'Leary level performances.
No, he didn't.
No.
He didn't make the notes, obviously.
No.
But again, a very good performance from him. Max O'Leary, that was such a good game, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the keeper made some good saves towards the end because he'd have fancied El Ghazi to score.
Yeah.
When he went through, and that was a good save. He made a really good save from a Keenan header that wouldn't have counted anyway.
Why did Davis get booked?
I don't know. I can only presume they thought he'd thrown an arm or something, or used an arm to try and hit. Well, obviously he wouldn't be heading it if he were using an arm.
Yeah.
But like he'd used his arm to divert the ball. I really don't know that. I've not seen anything back. Obviously, it's taken me 3 hours to get back.
Yeah.
Here, which I've not enjoyed, so I've not had a chance to watch anything.
No, I
mean, back.
I haven't seen it either. But that just seemed. It was a great chance, and then I saw Davis getting booked, and it all was a bit confusing for me.
I do like Dean Smith's use of substitutes. I do feel like he always makes the subs at the right time. Like we were winning 1-0, hour gone. He brings on players that are likely to get you a goal. He doesn't consolidate. He wants more. So he's kind of on for Whelan is an attacking change, isn't it? And Green's probably a more attacking player than Adoma. It's all positive, isn't it? He wants to get the next goal. He wants to win 2-0, not 1-0.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a good sign that we've seen the game out as well.
Do you think because Codger got the decisive goal, he'll be first name on the team sheet for Sunday in the up front role?
Presuming Tammy's not back.
I don't think we'll see Tammy again.
It's probably wise not to play Tammy for the next two, isn't it? You would think. And again, he's played a lot of games, Tammy, so he could rest of probably doing good. And hopefully it has the same impact as when McGinn sat out a couple of games and he came back.
Sure.
And absolutely hit the ground running. I really don't know. Again, my preference would probably be Keenan. But maybe I'm just harsh on Codger.
Yeah.
He scored. At the end of the day, he's going home and thinking, well, I've scored the winner. I've done my job. I just like to see a little bit more of the other things from him. I don't dispute he's got ability.
Yeah.
I'd just like to see him work a bit harder. I'd pick Davis, especially away from home, but it'll probably be Codger again.
And then Davis potentially in the dead rubber against Norwich.
Yeah, because he hasn't started a game this season, Davis.
No.
And he's good coming off the bench, though, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah,
he
for sure.
He carried a threat today when he came off the bench.
Yeah, I thought he looked lively. It was good to see him. He's, like we said before, he's got good feet, and if he could just add goals, it feels like Grealish all over again. If he can just add goals, then he could be a real threat.
I think goals will come for Keenan Davis.
Do you?
I think his all-round game is so good. I think his hold-up play is massive. Like, it's way better than it should be.
Who was your man of the match today, Mings?
Yeah, I have to give it Tyrone. I think I gave it Mings on fan cams as well, and as did many people on fan cams. But I'll just give fan cams a quick plug while we're talking about it. It's out now. Now Rollo's finally uploaded it to the right channel. Not to call him out. So make sure you're checking out. It was a good fan cams tonight, and you enjoyed it.
I mean, I don't know why any of us work with you, because you just dig people out
to be with.
every time.
How do you think my wife feels?
You take pop shots at us both.
Yeah, I do that. Maybe that's where you've got the pop shots thing, because I felt like that kind of made sense that time.
Oh, right.
Yeah, maybe it's from verbals.
Yeah, there you go.
Who knows? You've completely thrown me off course of
fan cams.
What I was going to say. Yeah, it was a good fan cams. Lots of new people, and you did the old trick that I used to do when I first joined the channel, where Matt Lynch used to do fan cams because he was the face at first. He was the one that had been there longer, so he used to do the fan cams, and I used to just turn up and mill around and then take all the credit of people praising the channel. And that's what you did today. I could hear people saying, "Oh, I love the channel. You all do such a good job," and I was thinking, I'm here grafting on the front line, me and Rollo on the front line here carrying out the fan cams, and Tom's just lapping up the brain of people having his photo taken on his own.
Getting on my handshakes. Thanks to Gemma for she came up to me and said, "Oh, my dad, I'm trying to get him on FaceTime, but he's not answering." And then she was like, "Can I have a photo?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Went to put my arm around her, and she's like, "No, I don't want to be in it."
To be fair, as a woman, I can imagine she recoiled.
I mean, maybe that's not. She did tell me she didn't like to have a photo taken. That sounds like an excuse at this point.
I'm pretty sure I follow her on social media, and I'm pretty sure she's putting photos of herself all the time.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, let's take it.
She's not going to enjoy this segment at all.
I'm not enjoying it. I feel attacked.
She's still shuddering now when she thinks of you. I'm trying to put you around.
I was going to say I wanted to jump in and do a couple of fan cams.
I would have let you,
but then people came up and spoke to us, which is really, really nice. So,
lots of kind words. So it does mean a lot.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Thank you for that. So fan cams will probably be out before this.
It's out now.
So yeah, make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it. Anything else from today's game before we look at the table? Because the table is interesting.
I really enjoyed it. Even though it wasn't a pretty win, I just really enjoyed it.
And Norwich
I just want to emphasise, although I said on fan cams in a bit of a rush of blood to the head, we've won 10 in a row, but if we don't go up, it doesn't mean anything. That's not true, because those players have written themselves into the history books now, and it would take some time to beat that record, I would think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's taken 109 years.
I mean, only my dad has seen that happen twice.
Yeah.
The 10 in a row, last time in 1910. Like, he's an incredible achievement. 10 wins in a row, especially when everyone goes on about how hard the Championship is. Like, it's a slog, and there's games within days of each other all the time. Like, that is an incredible achievement. Well, and especially off the back of how bad we were as well,
sure.
And how confidence was so low. To have got it up to what it is now, everyone deserves a massive pat on the back.
If you think about it just in pure podcasting terms, we've done the last 2 podcasts, we've had 4 games.
Yeah.
And in the last 10, we must have had at least 3 2-game weeks, if not 4, so or a 3 and 6 period or something like that. So to get back, win, and go on the road as well, away from your families for different parts and stuff like that. It's not easy, and there's a lot of, like, being a professional footballer is an absolute dream. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's still graft at the end of the day, and you got to work blooming hard to make that happen.
They've definitely done that.
Yeah.
They deserve it. They deserve it as well, because they do seem like a great bunch of players.
But you raise an interesting point. We don't go up. It's still an absolute crushing.
Yeah.
The mood is so high now. If we don't go up, it's going to be a huge body blow.
It's also one of those things where it's like, they get your hopes up, because we were all written this season off.
Yeah,
everyone. Except for one person on Twitter who I saw.
No, K2 Villa, and then a couple of other guys have said they've got evidence for saying
fair
that.
Play, because I was not one of those people.
Yeah, you are very much the minority, and yeah, I've said that. Fair play to you, but. Certainly, the whole Villa View team had written it off.
I mean, Dolan was ready to write off the next 3 or 4 seasons. I think the mood he was in.
And I don't. You can't blame anybody for saying that it was the end of the season, because it did feel like that. And so now the mood is so high. it's ripe for now or never, isn't it? Really.
It just feels like I felt like with the playoffs last year, we were all. I've probably just done this to death on the podcast, but I just want to do it again to re-emphasise. From February, March, we pretty much knew we were going to be top 6, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it kind of felt like we were just waiting for the playoffs. We were there. We were aiming for second, and we didn't get it. Bit deflated. Into the playoffs we go. Let's see what happens. This year we didn't expect anything.
Yeah.
We're in the playoffs, but not only are we in the playoffs, we're entering the playoffs as the absolute form team in the country.
Yeah.
In the world, maybe in the world. How many other teams will have won 10 in a row?
I mean, I can't
the notes.
fact check that.
No.
But you must be right. We must be up there.
So the way we're now entering that playoff picture, it's just worlds away from last season. And I was always worried about Fulham last season. I don't really worry. If we play our game, we will beat anyone in this division.
Especially as the top 3 are all trying their best not to get promoted, aren't they?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
Let's have a quick look at the table then. Norwich are still top on 88 points. They drew 2-2 today. Sheffield United won, and they're on 85. So they could still catch Norwich to win the title, but Norwich have Ipswich next, and then Villa, obviously. I don't know what Sheffield United's run is like, but Ipswich are already relegated, and that's a rivalry as well.
Ipswich will be great, so does that mean Norwich can win the league against Ipswich?
And they've
gone down.
Ipswich are bottom. First v bottom, and they're big rivals.
That is grim for Ipswich fans.
Shambles. Leeds United lost again tonight, 2-0 to Brentford. They are capitulating, so they're 3 points behind Sheffield United now. Obviously play Villa on Sunday, which is a massive game. They're 5 points behind Leeds is West Brom. 2 points behind West Brom is Villa, and then Derby and Middlesbrough are both on 67. So they're 6th and 7th. Derby ahead on goal difference.
Bristol City have kind of gone again, haven't they?
Bristol City lost today. Did they lose today?
Yeah, they did.
But they've got a game in hand, so they could
against Derby.
Yes, that's right. So they could technically leapfrog Derby into 6th if they win that game in hand.
Exciting. Lots of permutations.
They've loads of permutations. So Villa could still feasibly catch West Brom.
Yeah.
West Brom have got who next, did you say?
Rotherham, I believe.
And Rotherham lost today to Birmingham, didn't they?
Yeah, 3-1.
So they're not
I listened to their manager on the way home. I listened to a bit of TalkSport on the way home today. They had a lot of champions. TalkSport 2, actually. They had a lot of championship talk, so I felt like I garnered some knowledge ready for the podcast.
Yeah, good.
Today is good.
Nice.
Nice to do some research.
Yeah. Cheers for chipping in.
No worries.
I shouldn't tap you. I might rip that shirt.
I'm already struggling.
So
loss of life in this booth.
It's all tight at the top. It looks like Norwich should become champions next week, but
I'm still feeling sorry for Ipswich.
Yeah,
that's a disaster for them.
Yeah, they've had a torrid time. But
shouldn't have got rid of Big Mick.
Do you think it's Leeds now to finish 3rd?
Yeah, and like I'm saying, we're going into the playoffs absolutely buzzing. If Leeds finish 3rd, they're just on the floor.
Yeah,
aren't they? Obviously they've still got a chance of going up, and you've got to be professional. You've got to try and regroup and get yourself going again. But that must play on the mind that we should have been top 2.
Yeah.
Fair play to Sheffield United. Chris Wilder is incredible. I really like what he's done there.
Oh, for sure.
They were good last season, to be fair. First season back in the Championship. Yeah. For them to go up, they spent a bit of money in the summer. To be fair, they've got the David Brooks money, didn't they? Who's a very good player.
Yeah.
By the way, but Chris Wilder is I just like him. He's honest. He's clever. He's switched on. He's got a set way of playing. He's done an incredible job at Sheffield United.
Middlesbrough lost again today, 3-0 to Nottingham Forest.
I get that, man.
You know, they're capitulating. Who do you? So it becomes an interesting one, doesn't it? Let's say, who would you want to play Leeds 3rd v 6? Who would you want in there? Would you want a team that's going to beat Leeds and knock them out, or would you want because Middlesbrough are no great shakes, but it's a tough
Derby
one.
haven't been either. They've been very inconsistent. I look at Derby and I don't think that's a side that's got the bottle to go through the playoffs.
Well, they scored 2 late goals today.
Yeah, Harry Wilson with the brace.
Yeah,
thanks
one of them
to
was
scored 2.
Penalty as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't care. I don't really care who finishes 6th.
That's good.
Up to them. Do what you want. I just care what Villa do, and Villa Leeds in the playoff final. That's the one. Since we've been on this good run, that's what I thought is going to happen. Just 2 big monster teams that fight out at Wembley. Just praying that we don't come out on the wrong end of it again, because I can't face that.
Yeah. The one thing that, because I'm not worried about Leeds right now, but the fact that
they lost to Wigan with 10 men on Good Friday.
But if they get to the playoff semi-finals and then win the semi-finals,
it changes
things, doesn't it?
Anyone who gets through that semi-final is going to be buzzing going into the final.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
It's a given, but just the way that they were there again and they've completely blown it. They've had chances as well. They've had chances to secure it. They've not done it.
Oh, for
Norwich
sure.
have been drawing every game for weeks. It feels like.
Yep.
It doesn't seem to want to happen for
I mean,
Leeds.
they were in the driving seat for a while, weren't they, Leeds? And Bielsa was heralded as this. Oh, it's what a great move it's been, and
It
something's
has been a
gone
good
wrong.
move, to be fair, because they've.
Well, it won't be if they don't go up. If they put so much effort in and they run out of steam.
Yeah, but when was the last time they finished top 6? I don't remember it being recently. In recent years.
This is well. I mean, they were close last year, weren't they? They fell off.
But finishing top 6 is no good unless you go up, I suppose. It's
Yeah,
the other way of looking at it, like we were saying earlier.
Isn't it? Wicked01. It's looking like we'll get the Baggies in the playoffs. Are you confident of beating them over 2 legs, given we've not beat them in the league this year, albeit without Jack?
We should have beat them though, and that was when we had our best 11 out when Jack was playing.
Rodriguez.
We were robbed. Rodriguez.
Oh, you almost had it.
Nearly. I've still not forgiven that.
Hitzelsberger Sausage says, how different a team are we to the team that couldn't beat West Brom this season?
It's a completely different team. The mood's different. Like you say, it just feels like a different season.
Yeah.
Well, I think Howard Hodgson, Dan Rolinson read it to me when I was driving home and I was speaking to him on the phone. We'd won 10 games up until that point, I think, and then we've come on this run and won another 10. That's what we've like. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be on 10 wins and limp sitting in 13th, to then just go and do a whole season's worth of wins up until that point and to just win 10 in a row. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's an unheard of turnaround.
Yeah.
I know there's always a team that rises up, but we were beaten. We were looking poor.
It's absolutely incredible. Adele and Daz Hassel were the ones that said that he backed Villa when he didn't actually back them. He said he was going to put Villa on to win the playoffs.
We were going to do it.
Yeah, 50-1 and didn't do it. So what was the point?
Yeah.
A couple of other questions. Paul Scott Crombie said he was the one that got a photo with Tammy Abraham. And
Was that
said,
today then, this photo?
Yeah, well, he's in the sling there. You can see. He's got the sling.
How's he driving? Is he in the driver's seat? I'm fascinated by this. You can't drive with a sling on.
Not sure. No, he's taking the sling off, I think. It's... Anyway, check
Sling out.
Paul Scott Crombie's tweet if you want to see and assess whether Abraham's wearing a sling or not. Tammy back in 2 to 3 weeks, according to the man himself, after flagging his car down 20 minutes ago. So that was 4 hours ago. 4 hours and 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
So that's good. Gemma 1874 takes a horrible, awkward photo
Make sure you're checking out that photo. I've retweeted it as well. So
I'm
you're
going to
about to see it
retweet
on my Twitter feed.
There it is. Jordan Smith, would you rather play the Baggies at home first or away? Home first or away first? I'd always prefer to have the home leg second. Now, for me, I'd rather play them at home second because I can't make the first leg.
I think my dad can't either. So it's better to be away first, I've always thought. But then, at this point, part of me feels like it doesn't matter. You just got to... Because if you're at home first and you win your game, you've only then got to get a draw in the next game.
Yeah.
It's not really that different, is it? Does it make that much difference? I don't think away goals are involved, are they, in the playoffs, as far as I remember?
I don't think so, no.
So I feel like it makes a massive amount of difference. Because you could pan them 4-0 in the home game. And all you got to do is protect it.
Yeah.
In the second
But
game.
I guess I
think there's pros and cons for both, but the Football League obviously feel it's better to be at home second, because that wouldn't be the reward.
Or playing in front of your home crowd, your home atmosphere. And you've got your routines when you're at home. All of that kind of stuff plays into it. So I think there definitely is a psychological advantage of playing at home second.
Yeah.
And I can go. Potentially.
I mean, we were away first last year, weren't we? At Middlesbrough. Won 1-0, pretty much got the job done away from home, and then just had to draw 0-0 at home.
It wasn't a great couple of games, was
No,
it?
but we did enough. We got over the line, didn't we? But it was pretty uninspiring.
Yeah.
The home game was pretty tedious, if I recall.
Yeah. Simon O'Regan, no question this week. Just a huge well done and thank you to the players for the last 2 months. It's been incredible to watch. I think most, if not all, fans would echo that.
Yeah, I'm speaking to kids today in fan cams who have seen nothing but misery.
Yeah.
They've had nothing to be excited about. And now they can say, when Villa broke consecutive wins record, I was there. That's great for the kids to have something to enjoy and a piece of their own history, because I mean, the Birmingham fans and the Baggage fans will never say, we ever harp on about its history, but we have got a great history. We've won the European Cup, but those days are so far away now, and then it's going to be a long time until Aston Villa win the European Cup again. I mean, we weren't even alive when that happened. So it's just nice for the younger generation to just have. It's not a cup or anything like that, but it's just nice to have that little bit of history.
Yeah, for sure.
That they can be involved in. It's great to see with smiles on their faces as well.
If nothing else, it's nice to be involved in wins. And
we're all going for, isn't it, to see Villa win?
I felt like it was so refreshing again to be there today, but to watch every time McGinn picked the ball up deep, or Grealish or whatever, it was looking to spray it out wide, pass it on the ground. It wasn't just lump it up forward.
No, we don't do much of that anymore.
It's just beautiful football to watch, and that's what's going to inspire the next generation of fans. Not necessarily the wins, but the good football, and it's so enjoyable today. We didn't blow the doors off, but we were playing good football, and that's what we tried to do under Smith, and that's what's going to make us a good side for the next few seasons.
I think we did what was needed.
Yeah.
Today was probably the way I'd describe the game. I think we could probably been capable of blowing the doors off, because I think Millwall were there for the taking. But if you remember, we went to Millwall, didn't we, away? How bad was that?
That's Kevin McDonough, wasn't it? We were 15th.
I remember watching Millwall in that game and thinking, oh God, these are terrible. But you know what? We're worse.
Yeah, we were worse.
And that was when was that, October?
Yeah.
Kevin McDonald in charge. I remember the number 19, I think his name's Elliot. He didn't look any like a proper footballer, yet he caused us all the problems.
Totally.
We looked like we couldn't deal with him.
Yep.
And today we've played Millwall and just been comfortable, and we've looked like an astute footballing side.
Yeah, for sure. Joe Schwaber says you walked past him at half time.
I did.
Yeah. Well, I assume it was you. And he was too distracted by how nice your shirt was to realise it was you before you passed him.
But I didn't have this one on. Maybe like who's that guy in the extra small shirt rolling around in the park?
Yeah.
The yellow Henson shirt that I've been sent. Yeah, check out my social media if you want to get hold of that, because they are being reproduced in conjunction with Henson. So if you check out my social media, it'll tell you the guy to get in touch with, because I've completely forgotten his name.
Yeah, well, you must find that
I
out.
had a few people come up to me in the game and ask me about the shirt as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments in the tweets. James JPW Lolly Liquor, I've definitely read that before. The importance of finishing above the Baggies is the key to the playoff final. To get the home leg last gives any team a huge advantage. Yeah,
we've got to aim for fourth now. Like we've got to do it.
Robbie Burns says now playoffs are confirmed. Should Dino rest most of the players? I think, like you say, we'll see a few players rested, and hopefully that'll work. That'll work well. There won't be wholesale changes kind of across the board. It will just be a couple here, a couple there. Andre Green gets a bit more time again, that kind of thing.
Lansbury's an interesting one. Like barely played all season, but you can tell that Dean Smith rates him.
Yeah.
If he may be required at some point over the playoff run, like, do you give him a game now to just give him 90 minutes because he hasn't had that? It would just do him good to get 90 minutes in the tank. There's pluses and minuses, isn't there, for what you do at this stage?
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong answer. I don't think Dean Smith will do what he does, and we've got to back him as the right call. Jimmy
Barcelona, will we ever lose a game again?
I mean, yes.
Yeah, I would say
certain. Quite
possibly.
Multiple, I'm going to imagine. Hopefully not this season.
Yeah. Miles Osborne, Twanzebe and Mings, Elphick and Mings, or House and Mings, providing all are fit.
Probably Twanzebe and Mings.
Do you think?
Just because they're both so natural at bringing the ball out. Them two together bringing the ball out on their right sides.
Yeah.
I just think that would, again, I think the level of football would go up another notch.
I immediately thought Hawes.
I like Hawes though, that's the problem. But when he plays with Mings, he's playing on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So I would have said Hawes would have ended up at left back, but Neil Taylor has been so good. There's no way he's coming out the side now unless he gets injured. Neil Taylor is one of the first names on the team sheet. Now, I thought he was exceptional today, him and El Ghazi. I thought they were really, really good down that left-hand side yet again.
David Elrington, Jednak has been excellent when he's been playing recently. 100% better than the nightmare he's had in the last 12 months. Yeah, agreed.
Oh dear.
My alarm. I need to pack my passport.
Get that packed.
Yeah.
Are you going away tomorrow?
I'm going on a work trip for a day to Rome tomorrow.
There's some big problems now because the alarm's gone off.
I'm going to forget.
You're not going to reset it.
Do you know what time my alarm's got to go off tomorrow morning?
I don't really care, but tell me anyway.
3:30.
Oof. Are you doing the podcast at 9 o'clock?
Yeah, you're welcome.
Day. It is a big day.
You're welcome.
It is a big day.
don't need it.
Well done.
Maybe we should call it a day.
We'll cut off soon. 54 minutes is an acceptable time.
Yeah, Simon Back had a tweet. If you could build a statue outside Villa Park right now, who would be the statue figure right now if you had to
Of
build
current day players or any?
of any? Although if you could build one of a current day player as well. I guess it'd have to be Grealish for a current day player, would it?
I would imagine so.
That's not
the poster boy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably either with shinning the ball into the goal in the Champions League final, or Mortimer lifting the trophy would be the one. It feels weird that there's not some kind of nod towards that.
Yeah.
They're trying to get that word in any way you can now.
2 times in a podcast. Come on.
I'm pretty sure I said it first as well.
You did?
Yeah,
Absolutely did.
Stealing my excellent use of the English vocab.
All right, let's get out of here because it's 9 p.m. and it's been a long day. We should just say
I can't breathe.
We should say thank you very much to everybody that's voted for us in the FBAs. The voting is now closed, so if you're like, I'm just about to do that, you can't do it. So
I've got to admit, I only did it on Instagram like 2 days ago or something. Yeah, pretty left it to the last minute.
Dear me. But yeah, thank you to everybody that voted. We'll see what happens with that, essentially. Not a lot else we can do.
No.
Fan cams will be out by the time you listen or watch this. Make sure you check that out. Yeah. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Rollo and Rushton are going to meet up and do a preview in the week for the Leeds game. So that gets me off the hook for setting up the gear in the house, which is always a bonus.
Nice.
And yeah, have a good time in Australia. No, you're not going to Australia,
No,
right?
I'm
That's
going to
next
Rome.
month. Have a good time in Rome, Tom.
A day.
A day in Rome.
So I'm getting up at 3:30, getting back about half midnight. Long day.
Wow, that is a long day.
Yeah. But it's what you do.
Your violins out, everyone, for Tom.
Do for a job. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. You know the drill.
iTunes review.
Yes, absolutely. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully, 11 in a row.
Yeah.
Dare to dream.
We do dare to dream.
All right, that's it.
Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Hello.
Ooh.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.